All right, fight fans, it's about that time. Mr. Matchroom himself, Eddie Hearn, is joining us now.
What's up, brother?
How we doing, guys?
Good, Eddie, man. Thanks for joining us. Look, I want to get into a little drama real quick before we get into some of the fights ahead of us. As a promoter, I have to get your opinion on a few things. You know, last couple of weeks, Barack and I have been chopping it up with Ryan Garcia, with Canelo Alvarez, and I'm not sure if you've seen.
Of course,
back
you've seen
and
it.
forth
The whole world saw it.
drama. So you know, basically, Ryan picks Triple G to win the trilogy, and Canelo picks Tank, you know, to beat Ryan. And also, he said a few other things there. Have you seen?
Of course, I've seen it. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind any of it. You know, I think everyone says things that upset people in boxing. I think we've all learned that, haven't we? Like, and there's a lot of pride. There's a lot of machismo. There's a lot of ego. You know, outside of the fighters, there's clearly a feeling from, you know, either Ryan Garcia or whoever that, you know, things probably weren't left on the best of terms. I know that Canelo and Eddie always felt that Ryan didn't put the work in that a slot in that gym should behold. Like, it's not, you have to understand about Eddie Reynoso's gym. It's not easy to get in there and get the time of Eddie Reynoso. And it kind of comes with a blessing of Canelo Alvarez as well, because those guys are so close. And I feel like what I've learned about Canelo is he really wants to help people. And I feel like he would have, you know, helped Ryan. He would have been around in the training sessions, you know, helped him with his training and stuff like that. And I think they just felt that he didn't put the time back in return. But, you know, he had his own problems. And now, obviously, there's various back and forths. Ryan keeps putting a few digs in which Canelo Alvarez is going to respond to. Because, again, another thing I think you find with Canelo Alvarez is he doesn't really care what he says. He's just going to tell you what he's feeling. And I think you have to respect that as well. You know, we've seen that in the Triple G press conferences. It's not a case of saying, oh, you know, I respect this guy. I don't mind him. He doesn't respect him, in my opinion, and he doesn't like him. So he's just going to tell you.
What I've noticed is that as long as he says it in English, the whole world loves it. Doesn't really matter what he says, you know?
Yeah.
I believe what you're saying to some degree, because everybody who goes to that camp, whether it was Valdez or Ruiz or Sanchez, they always speak about one thing, being around Canelo. So that's been such a big deal. But speaking about being around Canelo, I figured I'd see you at the Icon Series golf tournament, like being Canelo's caddy, since you always talk about your
I would have been the caddy. I would have poured water into his mouth. I could have just tied his shoelaces up every few holes when he needed it. But no, unfortunately, we had a long run. You know, Australia and Saudi Arabia and San Antonio and LA and everything. And obviously this weekend, look forward to Mr. Chisora and Kubrat Pulev chopping it up at the O2. And also Madrimov against Soro.
Barack and myself, we took your place at the golf tournament because we were
No. I took your place, you know, catering to Canelo. I just watched the game with my son. That's all.
Listen, I'm watching. Don't go trying to sign him behind my back. Know your game.
Speaking of Chisora Pulev, look, I got into the fight. Of course, I was recording a voiceover for the feature piece, but I don't know. I got a good feeling like we're going to get a war, right? But it doesn't seem like Derek really dislikes Pulev. It's almost like these guys really like each other. Tell me a little bit more about how they feel about each other.
I think Derek's matured a bit. You know, like he's a family man now. I asked him today. I said, "Do you think, you know, will we see anything from you crazy this week?" He said, "Look, it's just literally I don't know when it's going to happen. It's just something someone says or something someone does, and it goes off." They're both crazy. They're both total lunatics, you know. And I had a good chat with Derek this morning. We did a media event. You know, he talked about his kids coming to the fight for the first time in his career.
Wow.
And he's just like, I'm so desperate to make sure I win. Like, it would kill me if they saw me lose.
Why is
And he's
that?
really motivated. I don't know. I think, you know,
he couldn't get tickets. Man. You never gave him any tickets all of these years. That's why.
Yeah. I think that, you know, he's a proud man, and I love Derek because he's so honest.
Yes.
You know, he just says, look, this is what, and I said to him today, I said, you know, if you beat Kubrat Pulev, you could land a massive fight. I said, like, you're only one win away from fighting Wilder or White again or whoever. I was like, really? I said, yeah. I said, but you're also one loss away from probably me and other people saying, that's your lot now, mate. Yeah. Oh, really? Right. You know, he has no plan. He's just straight up and down. I want to fight. I love fighting. I love the fans. I'm going to give you everything. And in today's day and age, you know that when you tune into a Derek Chisora fight, he will give you every ounce of his soul in that ring on Saturday night. I really believe we'll get a great fight.
I totally agree. And some people are already saying that about Derek Chisora, that he should retire, but the man gives his all. And it doesn't seem like he's lost a step at all.
But the problem is, after the Parker defeat, I thought he should go and have a couple of easy wins. He's got absolutely no interest. Like, look at the defeats and the fighters that he's jumping in with. Defeats to Tyson Fury twice, Vitaly Klitschko, Alexander Usyk, Dillian White, Kubrat Pulev, close fight, Robert Helenius, robbed in Helsinki, right? Joseph Parker, and now Kubrat Pulev. Like, they're all top 10, top 15 guys. Yeah. He never fights anyone outside of that. And when he does, he beats them quite comfortably. Leaving the Takam win was a great win. Spilker, David Price, he's better than 99.9% of heavyweights out there. But unfortunately, he keeps fighting the 0.1%.
What do you think, according to the way he looks, how do you think he'll perform against the other top guys in the division?
I think he's a good fighter. I mean, look, to the naked eye, he doesn't look great. Like, to the non-boxing, like, even like my friends who'll watch it go, wow, who's this Joe Joyce? He's terrible. I'm like, he's really not. He can really fight because he looks slow. He's quite methodical, but he's very effective. He has a very good chin. He has a tremendous engine, and he's going to cause any of the elite heavyweights problems.
Should that be your best asset, a chin in the heavyweight division?
No.
You got guys like Wilder.
Barrett, like, having a good chin and a great engine and being very strong is still good attributes to have in the ring. You don't want to rely on them all the time, but he has to rely on them because he doesn't have movement. He doesn't have skill. Well, that's a bit harsh, but like skill like some of these guys. He doesn't have speed like some of these guys. So he's got to rely on his own attributes, which are very effective. The problem is he's yet to fight an elite heavyweight. And it's not his fault because I believe he wants to fight them. But the problem is Joe Joyce isn't a big name. He's not a big draw. So the risk-reward ratio for a lot of these guys isn't really up there. They lost the Joseph Parker fight. That would have been a really good fight for him. But no disrespect, but Christian Hammer's 5 years ago, that was an easy fight. So we can't judge too much on that.
Right.
I hope they can manage to find him a big fight.
Are you curious, like myself, how he's going to stand up to like a Wilder, a Joshua, or just a heavier puncher's punch?
Yeah, I do think he's got a great chin. But you're still going to get knocked out if you get hit flush on the chin by these guys. You can't just keep walking them down, getting hit clean.
Yeah.
But he's definitely a top 10 heavyweight in the world. We just need to see him fight someone because at the moment they can't seem to secure him a proper heavyweight fight.
You always talk about Anthony Joshua's resume, rightfully so. You speak about Canelo's resume, rightfully so. But Savannah Marshall hasn't acquired that resume yet, but you're still sold on her beating Clarissa Shields. Why is that? Now, it's okay to say, well, she's my fighter.
Well, she's not my fighter now. We don't work with Savannah Marshall. So
no, but that's when you used to say it, though.
Yeah. But I think that when you look at it, I do think it's a 50-50 fight. But in England, with Marshall's punch power, I do just back her to win the fight. I don't think Clarissa Shields punches that hard. I think she's going to be fighting off emotion in this fight. And that'll be very dangerous for her. But don't get me wrong.
But she's always dominant, no matter whether she has punching power, or not.
But she's never fought. Dominant. She's never really fought a big puncher.
And neither has Savannah Marshall. So
true. But they don't really exist. That's why. But guess what, Barack? Clarissa Shields isn't a big puncher, so it's irrelevant. I know she's never faced one, but she's not a big puncher. She's got one knockout or something in her wins.
Two. She has two, but and yes, she doesn't always sit down on her punches because she tends to box a lot. But I'm just saying, what makes you think that she can't outbox Savannah?
Maybe she can. Maybe. I'm not saying she can't, but when I have a pick, you always pick on me, Barack, but I have to pick someone.
No, because you're one of the few guys who tells the truth. And this is one of those times where I think you're just leaning towards your emotion.
Because we don't work with Savannah. I've
got
no reason to say it. That's what I believe. The only disappointment for me is that Michaela Meyer and Baumgartner is on the undercard for that fight. Because, by the way, it's a good card, like two good fights, but
it's an amazing
I don't understand it. You got two Americans. Like, that should be a headline event in America, Meyer Baumgartner. It's such a great fight. And obviously we signed the contract for that fight for Baumgartner, but we were expecting it to be main event. I mean, I feel like it's a bit disrespectful to Meyer and Baumgartner.
It probably is, but I think because we had such an amazing event at Madison Square Garden with Serrano and Taylor, and neither one of those fights by themselves can compare to that, because it was just an amazing promotion. I think that them together will just keep that momentum going.
Yeah, maybe. Listen, it's a good card, but I just feel like that was a great opportunity for American female boxers. Like, they're two great fighters, two big personalities, loads of beef. Like,
Yeah. Or who? I mean, I think you've already picked a few weeks ago that you said Jake Paul. You see Jake Paul winning that fight. So, do you think that that's why Serrano didn't take the Taylor fight, because she already had this?
I don't think they want another defeat. Like, I think they know it's a tough fight. They know they could lose the fight, and back-to-back defeats, when she can come and get a good win, on that card, we can build up maybe to the rematch next year. But it wasn't. We talked about the money. There was a big increase in the offer from the first fight, and she lost. But then, we talked about a number that still she wouldn't even take if we offered it, which we didn't, and it was like more than double what she got in the first fight. So
really, so she was offered more than double than the first.
No, she wasn't.
He didn't get it offered yet. He didn't say
we increased the offer, and they said, look, even if you offered X, we wouldn't take the fight. And I was like, wow, okay, let's not waste our time on this one and try and make it down the line.
Before you go, we got to do this. The Eddie selling the unsellable. And,
God.
So today,
Eddie's side of this.
Okay, so today what we're doing is, it's your job, Eddie Hearn, to sell a space heater to people living in Saudi Arabia during the summer.
What's a space heater?
What's a space heater?
One of those portable heaters, that you have in your house when you're poor, like myself, growing up.
Right. You ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's be honest. You can never be hot enough. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. You could be in Antarctica. You could be in Saudi Arabia. Sometimes you need to feel the warm between your legs. The space heater is the original model that will keep you warm even on those cozy nights. And there is a perception that it's very warm in Saudi Arabia. Yes, there is a lot of desert there. But sometimes those breezy winter nights mean that the space heater will always come in handy and will remain an essential product for the everyday household, even in the desert.
What if I'm sweating? I'm trying to go to sleep. I'm sweating at night.
But then you make him wait. So it's fine. So in the winter, it can keep you warm. In the summer, it can help you shred some pounds. It's win-win, baby.
All right, thank you, Eddie. As always, man.
Never at a loss for words.
See you next week. Cheers.